might be elevated just over the week out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. All set? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And as we do each meeting, just remain standing for a moment to remember our troops, home and abroad. Thank you. Chief? Chief there?
Yeah.
Are all the officers here?
All but one who's out of state. Yeah.
Chief? So you know how I do this, instead of individually, I'll just give your name, okay? And your office, okay?
Everybody, right?
No, you individually, right there.
Okay.
Eric Smith, Chief.
I, Eric Smith.
Steve Suarez, Assistant Chief.
Jacob Sweeney, second lieutenant.
Of the Village of Highland Falls,
Village of Highland
the
Falls.
County of Orange,
County of
the
Orange.
State of New York,
State of New York.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear.
that I will support the Constitution
That I will support the
of the
Constitution
United States
of the United States.
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New York,
of the State of New York.
and I will faithfully discharge
And I will faithfully discharge
the duties
the duties
of the office
of the office
of doing Chief
of Fire Chief.
Assistant Chief.
Second lieutenant.
Captain.
of the Highland Falls Fire Department,
Of the Highland Falls.
according to the best of my abilities,
According to the best of my abilities.
and I always add, so help me God. Chief? So, I'm glad I know that you come to most of our meetings, but thank you. It's not easy anymore, like when I was young, to be a volunteer in the fire department. It's not easy. There's a lot of requirements, and there's a lot more commitment. And with you guys, when the whistle goes off, and I truly mean this, I feel very good that's being handled. Very seldom do I get a call. So that's good. So thank you, and I really mean that. Thank you. Thanks for what you do. It's not easy. Those are just words, but I mean them.
Our pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
But somebody buys for that, huh?
All set? Mr. Fallon? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Let me see George. George, come here for a second. This is what's good about these two guys. You get one, you get two. You know? Listen, on behalf of the village board and the residents of this village, thank you, and your committee. This is the fourth or fifth year of the St. Patrick's Parade, and I know it's not easy to organize bands and participants and floats, and it's just, and I knew it would. I remember talking to you 3 or 4 years ago. It'll grow.
Yes.
That's what happened to the 4th of July, this is our 52nd year. But it didn't start out like we have it now. It was great when it started out, thank God. for the folks that did it back then, but yours is growing and growing and growing, so thanks for what you do and the committee. Okay. The Grand Marshal.
Thank you.
The Grand Marshal, Mr. Fallon. So, thank you for everything you do. You do behind the scenes. You're not, you're behind the scenes and you do more than many other people. And it was the right pick. Maybe next year.
I love your things behind the scenes.
I know you do.
You don't want me near it.
No, I know. No, you guys do a lot. This family does a lot for this community, and really, it doesn't go unnoticed with me. So what I'd like to do is, these coins were made on the 100th anniversary of the village in 2006. 1906 to 2006. They're special coins. This is, and I know you have
I
coins,
have a lot of fun.
and this is a special coin from the village to you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
All right?
Thank you.
And we have a sweatshirt here. Eamon Fallon, Grand Marshal, St. Patrick's Parade, March 7th, 2020.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I wanted to try this on because I like this, but I don't know, I want to see if it fits me, but I didn't do it yet. But bring it up the street there and we'll, all right?
Thank you.
That's what I wanted to give you tonight, okay?
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank the village crew for putting all the flags up. I came down one day and it just looks great. It looks great, you know? That's what's good about this community. We do a lot of events and a lot of folks, pitch in and help, and we have a parade a month almost, and it's nice. Thank you. Okay. You don't have to stay. Although you can, All right, public comment on agenda or other items.
It's going to take me a second.
That's all right.
All right, guys.
Take your time.
Listen, I deserve something here. I only got one knee. So first, I would like to say, this is Kathy Guy, by the way.
I'm sorry, Kat, just pull that mic down.
Momentous occasion. Mayor D'Onofrio, I agree with you 100%.
On what?
That if the senior building is being underutilized, then we should look at something else. So, I just wanted to know, I agree with you. Also, I spoke with Supervisor Lizzie because I didn't want to come and request without having permission. As you can see, I only have one knee. Made it up the stairs, a little iffy but going down, but I'm gonna make it. There are a lot of people like me, and even though for me this is temporary, 6 months I'll get a knee, hopefully. A lot of people wanna come to meetings and can't because of the stairs, and I know you can hold them, it's a senior thing, but then people who are trying to watch the meetings on TV can't, because there's no live feed from there, so. Supervisor Liberty, let me know that absolutely Village Hall, our town hall is available for village board meetings, either both or once a month. So I'm requesting if we could have one there once a month so people can go who otherwise can't, but people at home can still watch.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Thank you. Take your time there. All right. First on the agenda is to approve minutes that we have, the regular meeting we had on the 18th of February 2020, and then we had a special meeting on February the 27th, 2020. Could I have those approved?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda is a request from the American Burrito. You have his letter there. By the way, a nice letter, Max. Nice letter. Appreciate it. To use municipal parking lot number 2, which is across from Sacred Heart, from March to June 1. We have to set, if this is approved, we have to set a dollar amount for those 3 months. And then, you know the truck is moved every night.
Yes.
Right? And we need to request from you the Orange County Health Department inspection, like a copy of it.
Sure, no problem.
You can bring it in here, we can make the copy for you, and
Got
we
it.
just put it on file.
Got it, no
That's
problem.
easy stuff.
Have it.
The reason for this is that his property had been sold at the north end, and you bought a building in Fort Montgomery,
That's right.
and for those that, I don't know, was it M&R Deli, or was it something after the? Foodies, that building, I know you've been in there working, and I know your kind of work, it's gonna be very nice. And so until that opens, this is a temporary location. And I also think it's important for a couple other reasons that I'm hoping the board allows this. Number one, you employ several people, and that count on you as the employee. And you also bring a lot of folks to Main Street, which is what we want with every business. And so those are good reasons to keep you going until you're in your new place. But if anyone has any questions, Max is here.
Max, the only thing is I know you're doing a lot of work out there.
Right,
A lot of work,
right.
a lot of work. I think you pretty much torn half of it out. On the
More, yeah, right.
So I see the dates that you have here, June 1st.
I'm actually thinking I'm expecting to be done by May 1st.
Well, what I'm saying,
Oh.
is that enough time, do you think? I mean, there's always, you have March, June, you think you'll be?
Well, yeah, the other aspect to look at is that the busy season, that gets me through the busy season. And then once graduation occurs for West Point, then my reliance and my ability to sort of cover my expenses and then my employees' expenses and their families and things like that, I can do, elsewhere or.
What happens with the trailer after this? Do you have another location that you go to, or?
No, so the food truck is going to be sort of a complementary aspect of the business. So it's something that I'm going to use for corporate events and private functions and festivals and things of that nature.
That's,
Okay.
so I just want to make sure you have enough time.
Yeah, I mean, I think June 1st would be great. I think that'll be ample time.
So if I could have, if there's more questions, we can ask them now. Otherwise, I would look for a motion.
I have a statement.
Go ahead.
There had been some confusion when USAA was doing some construction work. They moved the trailer down to that lot below the church. That saved the residents from going all over the place looking for USAA. My biggest concern, and I said it today, was there are people who work right in our village with you. I don't want them to be unemployed for 2 months, even 3 months. I'm very, very concerned about the business atmosphere. I'm concerned that we look at businesses, something that we need in this village. I don't want to get a reputation that we're not pro-business, because if you're not pro-business, then this village is not going to grow, and economically, you're not going to be there. So I firmly support
When does the farmer's market start?
June.
Oh, in June they start?
Isn't it June?
Mid-June.
Mid-June. Yeah.
Mid-June they start? Okay.
Just to speak to the farmer's market and any other events.
I see you have that.
Yeah, and that's important. You know, I'm not looking for an entitlement here. I'm looking for, you know, I'm just looking for a place where I can hang my hat for 90 days. And if
Absolutely.
the town needs that space for any reason,
Yep.
just let me know. That's really all that matters.
Okay.
So Max, great point you just brought up about the farmer's market. Maybe in the future, you might think about actually getting a space from them during the market to bring that venue that you have to the market. It could be beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that.
I'm just throwing it out there, I think, but like you said, you're using it for different events.
You know, since you're bringing that up, and then again, I don't mean to get off topic, and I'm just looking, you know, I know that there's been some confusion, as was stated earlier, about some motives and things like that. I really think that there's an opportunity in that lot to bring some, you know, real interest and some real, you know, daily business to some of the other vendors that might have been there or looking to go there as well. And if anyone knows me, you know, those that do and those that don't, I'm the ultimate team player, like 100%. And I would love to do nothing more than to help other people out. Let me tell you something, and everyone in this room should know this. The pie is enormous. There is enough pie to go around for everybody, and if someone needs me to show them or help them take pieces of that pie, I'm more than willing to do it. I want everyone to know that for the record. That I would love to make that an environment for anyone else to be able to prosper as well. And I'm more than happy and eager to help that endeavor, 100%.
All right.
Is there allowed to be public comment or only?
Yeah, but you know what, we need to get up to the microphone.
Oh, sure.
Max too, okay.
First Max. I want to introduce myself.
Wait a minute, no,
Rebecca
no,
Stewart.
no,
I
no,
can
no.
introduce
No,
myself.
no, wait a minute. The public comment is over. That was the agenda. I
Did you
said it
just
3 or
tell
4
me to
times.
step up to the microphone?
I did, but the public comment is over. I was
Okay, we can
wrong.
talk separately.
Yeah.
I wish you nothing but success.
All
I don't
right,
know if you know that 6 months I had to come here and fight for these people for a spot. So
Yeah.
6 months of my life I spent with no money, nearly losing my house. And no one, yes, here we
okay,
go.
excuse me,
And no one-
okay, I gotta move on. No one came here for 6 months and fought for this spot.
Yes, they did.
But, okay, that's
As well
over
as
with, so
Jesse
if I could
Merlin.
have a motion to allow the American Burrito to be in lot number 2 from March 1, which is already passed, to June 1. And what we'll do is, we'll take the information right out of here, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week, okay? And the length of the vehicle is off a little bit, but we're going to show you where to park, maybe where you are now, but the motion can be that you're in lot 2 for tonight. Is that okay, guys? That's what we're gonna say now. And then, yeah, amount to be set by the board for rent, if you will.
I think it's important too, Mr. Mayor, to bring up the fact that, this is temporary.
Well, it says it.
No, I know, but we, you know, that's what this is.
I understand
This-
the
Okay, now,
challenge.
listen, you can't,
No,
you can talk, but
You already said
public
enough
comment is
today,
over.
sir.
Public comment is over.
I just want to say, and for anybody listening out there, this isn't like we've spoken in the past for spots in that municipal lot. This board alone has homework to do on figuring out if we want to venture into having catering or any kind of trucks down there, or how far we want to go, how many we want to have, and all of that. This is just a situation where we had a business on Main Street. There's a gentleman that's opening up another business. We want to help him out as we do the other businesses in the village. And this is just that's all it is. If this was to do with Max was coming here and saying that I want to have a spot for the entire summer, I'm sure this would not be happening tonight. Okay? I want to just put that out there.
Yeah,
Okay?
just real quick, creating another vendor spot takes a little more time than just doing something temporary. It
Absolutely.
most certainly does, Rebecca, I'm telling you. We did the
I
same
should
thing.
have asked temporary then, right?
If you wanted to.
I should
Yeah,
have.
if you didn't want to be there for a year.
I wish I
So we
did
can't do
that.
it back and forth,
But
Jim.
we
It's
did the
not
same, we did the
professional.
same thing with USAA when we did that, it was temporary. it too. So it's a temporary spot. We created another vendor spot for somebody else who wanted to come here, because we only had one at the time, but we did create another one because there was another interest. So again, this is just temporary.
I'm happy for him.
All right, now, does somebody want to make a
Wait, wait, wait.
motion and have what you want in it?
There's a
Instead of me
second
sitting
here.
here doing it.
Second.
I didn't, the motion's not been made, what we want in it. For the record, in public, we have to make a motion with what we want in the temporary permit.
Well, everything you said,
Yeah, I wasn't done that, but that's-
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead,
That's
go
okay.
ahead, go ahead.
I make a motion that we have a temporary spot for the American Burrito Company in Lot 2. We will draw up a contract about how much we will be charging. And you said now it's gonna be from March to maybe May.
March, June 1st is what I'm requesting, 90 days.
Okay, fine,
Okay.
that's my,
I'll second that.
there you go.
Just want to include in the motion, if it's okay, that the operation will be, you said requesting 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week, and that the space will not be occupied if there's a town event or a village event.
And the truck will be removed every
And their truck will be removed every
Look, like I said, I think that what's in your letter is the extent of what we would want in the agreement. You really spelled it out, so thank you. And the things that we just said there, okay, you okay with that?
Yeah.
You made the motion.
And Jim seconded it.
Okay.
The only thing I want to throw out there, and I know this is, moving these trucks isn't the easiest thing in the world. And I know we have one truck that stays there. Max, do you want to move that truck back and forth?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I need shore power, I need power up to power that every night,
Okay.
so I have to move it.
Okay.
Matter of necessity anyway, I appreciate that, thank you.
We can do it later. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, you have that, Gina? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, thank you so much. Next on the agenda is to authorize the mayor, along with Sergeant Torpy, Police Commissioner DeSalvo, Police Chief Kenneth Scott, to sign a DWI contract for calendar year 2020 as recommended by our Police Chief Kenneth Scott. You have that before you.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, second by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, I have a resolution, local law amendment of the vehicle and traffic law. Be it resolved that the introductory local law titled Amendment of the Vehicle and Traffic Law be and is hereby introduced by Mayor D'Onofrio before the Board of Trustees of the Village of Highland Falls, the County of Orange, and the State of New York. And be it further resolved that copies of the proposed local law be laid upon the desk of each member of the Board of Trustees. And be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees shall hold a public hearing of said proposed local law at the Village Hall, 303 Main Street, Village of Highland Falls, at 7 p.m. on the 16th of March, 2020. And be it further resolved that the village clerk shall publish, or cause to be published, a public notice in the official newspaper of the Village of Highland Falls no later than 5 days prior. Now, what this pertains to, simply is section 108-61 titled Schedule 12, Parking Prohibited at All Times, is amended by deleting Station Hill Road and Station Road, same road, two names, from the list of streets and roads where parking is prohibited. So the public hearing again will be on that issue. You have it on page 2 on the 16th of March at 7 p.m. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Livesey. May I have roll call?
Trustee Elward,
Aye.
trustee Livesey,
Aye.
trustee Ramus,
Aye.
trustee DeSalvo,
Yeah.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you so much. I have a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into negotiations to lease village off-street parking space for Thayer Resort and Spa. Elise, do you have this in front of you?
I do.
Would you put your mic in, would you read it, please? I appreciate it.
Whereas the owner of the proposed Thayer Resort and Spa has requested the lease of 5 parking spaces located at the Senior Center, which property is owned by the Village of Highland Falls, and property located along Station Hill Road, a village road for the location of an additional 10 parking spaces. And whereas the village board has undertaken an investigation of parking utilization at the senior center, and finds that the parking lot consistently has excess parking capacity and is therefore underutilized. And whereas the village board has investigated the use of Station Hill Road by village residents and finds that the road is seldom used by the public as a village thoroughfare and does not currently contain on-street parking and is therefore not used for that purpose. And whereas the village board has concluded the public would not be inconvenienced by leasing excess capacity parking space at the senior center, nor making parking available along a certain length of Station Hill Road for the purpose of private parking. And whereas the residents of Highland Falls would benefit from revenue generated by leasing excess parking capacity to the owner of Thayer Resort and Spa, subject to the conditions expressly provided herein. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Highland Falls Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the mayor to enter into negotiations with the owner of Thayer Resort and Spa for the purpose of leasing 5 parking spaces at the senior center and 10 parking spaces along Station Hill Road under terms favorable to the village as negotiated by the mayor and approved by the Board of Trustees, subject to the following conditions. 1, the initial term of the lease shall begin upon execution of the lease and approval of said lease by the Board of Trustees. 2, the initial term of the lease may be less than but no greater than 5 years, with consecutive options to renew for additional terms of less than but not greater than 5 years each. 3, the lease shall terminate by operation of law in the event that the owner is not granted site plan approval and special permit approval for the Thayer Resort and Spa by the Consolidated Planning Board. 4, the lease shall terminate by operation of law in the event that the Thayer Resort and Spa ceases operation. 5, the Consolidated Planning Board, pursuant to its grant of authority under state village law, is authorized to set a reasonable renewal period as a condition of the special exception use approval. And 6, the Consolidated Planning Board, pursuant to its grant of authority under state village law, may condition a special exception use approval upon compliance with off-site parking requirements.
Thank you, Elise. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, is there a second?
Aye. Second.
Seconded by trustee DeSalvo. May I have roll call?
Trustee Albert?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elise. And the last resolution for tonight is a resolution setting a public hearing with respect to a proposed abandonment of Brook Street in the Village of Highland Falls and the amendment of the official map. Whereas an application has been made by James Tito to the Village of Highland Falls Village Board of Trustees and to the Village Street Superintendent of the Village of Highland Falls to take action pursuant to Village Law Section 7-724 to declare that certain portions of Brook Street located in the Village of Highland Falls, New York may be deemed abandoned upon the grounds that same have not been used by the public within the last 6 years. And actually it's been probably 50 years. Whereas the portion of the said roads currently appear on the official map of the Village of Highland Falls, and the applicant has further requested that such allegedly abandoned roads be deleted from same. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Village Street Superintendent is hereby requested to investigate the allegations contained in the application of James Titolo and to render his report to the Village Board pursuant to Highway Law Section 205 on or before 30 days from the date of this resolution. And be it further resolved that a copy of the resolution be referred to the County of Orange Planning Department and the Village of Highland Falls Planning Board for their report and recommendations. And be it further resolved that for the purpose of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, the Village Board determines that it shall act as lead agency with respect to seeker review. And be it further resolved that the public hearing shall be held at the Village Hall of the Village of Highland Falls, 303 Main Street, Village of Highland Falls, at 7 p.m. on the 6th of April 2020, or as soon thereafter as possible pursuant to Section 7-724 of the Village Law, to consider said certification abandonment pursuant to Section 205 of the Highway Law, and the deletion of same from the official map pursuant to Section 7-724 of the Village Law. Be it further resolved that the village attorney provides such notices to other municipalities as may be required by general municipal law, and to prepare notice of such statutory hearing, and that the village clerk cause the same to be published in the newspaper of general circulation and posted in the manner provided by law, and file proof thereof in the office of the village clerk no later than 10 days before the public hearing. Be it further resolved that the applicant shall fulfill the additional requirements of Section 240-63 of the zoning local law of the Village of Highland Falls regarding the posting of additional notices of said public hearing and mailing of notice to property owners of record as set forth in 240-63, and filing of its affidavit of compliance with the village clerk on or before the 6th of April 2020. May I have a motion to conduct this public hearing?
So moved.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus. May I have roll call?
Trustee Alward.
Aye.
Trustee Livesey.
Aye.
Trustee Ramus.
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo.
Yes.
Mayor D'Onofrio.
Aye, motion carries, thank you. Next, we have the Town of Highlands Easter Egg Hunt, Road Park, April the 4th. Rain date following week, April 11th. So it's April the 4th, rain date April 11th, 10 in the morning till noon. Request that waiver of the entertainment permit fee be waived. You have it before you from the town, and you have insurance.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Livesey, seconded by trustee DeSalvo, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have the appointment. There was a vacancy on the, has occurred on the zoning board, Consolidated Zoning Board of Appeals. This term would end December 3 of 2024. And the appointment that I would like approved is Daniel Zint.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion by trustee Livesey, seconded by trustee Ramus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, he should be sworn in as soon as possible.
Okay. Now, who does that, Elise?
The
We
village
do it?
clerk. The village clerk can swear
Okay.
him in.
We need to swear, okay, Jane? Thank you, Elise, for that. I have bills and claims, which I saw all of you review downstairs for 2019 and 2020 of $107,016.83.
Make a motion to approve the bills and claims.
Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo and seconded by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Quick comments. Coronavirus. Did I hear a groan? Okay, so, all I can do is remind folks what they're seeing on TV, and probably their own doctors are telling them this, which is to wash your hands frequently, maintain social distances. You stay there, I stay here. Avoid touching your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. I have a terrible habit of going like this. I got to get out of it. And to cover your mouth, nose when coughing. I mean, those are all things we know. We were most likely taught those things when we were kids. But I need to say them. The other thing that's probably more important is this Friday at 1 o'clock, I will be part of a conference call with the County Department of Emergency Services and the Orange County Department of Health. We'll give those on the phone an update and how the county is prepared and expectations. I'm not sure how they're going to tell us that, but how they're prepared and their expectations. And I will relay, of course, that I probably, if it's okay, relay it to the News of the Highlands because we have another 2 weeks before we're back here. And I think whatever they tell me might need to get out to the public. So I will participate in that conference call and again relay information to the public. I met last week with a probable, if you will, most likely new restaurant that's coming to Main Street. He wanted to talk to me about a few things on what I thought, and I always like to share the information that I have, which I did, and I think you're going to see, again, a new restaurant here on Main Street. And so what I want to just make a couple of comments about, and I've asked Trustee Howard to also help in this regard, is the Senior Citizen Center. I did not attend the town board meeting last week I guess it was, nor did I watch it on TV. Thank you, Eamon. Thank you, George.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. The Senior Citizen Center, which some folks might remember as the old Knights of Columbus Hall, and you might remember it was back in 2013. I worked very hard to find a grant to purchase the building, for which I did. I found enough money to pay for the whole building without any local taxpayer dollars, $200,000. And we purchased it and it became a village building. And it's been that ever since. It's used right now for the Highlanders that meet once a month. But also during the week, some go in there and do other events, socialize. I see Olga Anderson, she's brought programs to the Senior Citizen Center there. And so it's used. But it is not used as I had hoped for. And I know things take time. It's been a few years since we've had it. And so we need to have more. We would like very much for it to be utilized more than it is now. And we're working on that. We're working on that. The Highlanders are working on that. Other folks that are in the audience tonight are working on that. And we'll succeed because it's needed. One of the uses of the building can be other groups. If the garden club wanted to meet in there, or the scouts wanted to meet in there, anyone, civic organization can meet in there. You just have to file a request with the village hall downstairs. We have a calendar where people are on there that want to use it, so we don't double book. That would be all your requirement at this point. Also, the village clerk and I and the board are working on are folks that want to rent it. Nicole's has closed, as we know, and there really isn't any spots in town if someone wanted to have a birthday party or someone wanted to have a small wedding or a christening or many other things that folks get together for. we can rent the space out. It's a nice hall, nice kitchen, 2 brand-new handicap bathrooms. We're doing more work in there, drop ceiling, LED lights, windows. But we need to come up with rules and regulations, a fee, and then just as important as all that is someone to show you the room. And then someone to go back to make sure you left it the way it was supposed to be left so that you can get your deposit back. It might not sound like something that's hard to do. It's not hard to do, but it's finding that person that'll do it. You know, a lot of things take place on Saturdays and Sundays and whatever. But we're going to work on that because number one, we know there's a need in the community. And number two, it'll offset the cost of heating and electrical and other services, phone service and whatever is up there. It'll help with those costs. So we're looking to do that in the near future. In the meantime, though, as I said, other groups, civic groups can use it. There'll be a procedure for that too, a short form to fill out, get on the calendar. There's keys involved and all of that. So we're going to start to use the building more. But yes, again, it's a senior citizen center. It's not a center that belongs to the Highlanders. It's a senior citizen center. Brian, what would you like to add?
I was thinking, Joe, that speaking with someone down in the town to hire someone part-time from 10 to 3. It's a set time, senior citizens can go in, they can do what they want to do, they can have different activities, but then after 3 o'clock, it would be nice if the scouts went in there, vets went in there, and other residents use that, or other associations would use that. That way, everybody gets a piece of the center.
Thank you, Brian.
Excuse me, wouldn't there be grant money maybe to get that?
I can't, to get what?
To get like services that, somebody to run the place for you?
Oh, I don't know.
It's worth looking into.
Okay. I have 2 annual reports here to read, but I think I'm going to skip those tonight. One is by the historian and one is by the fire department. I will hold those. Everything's good in both of those departments, but I'm going to hold those and take care of it at the next meeting. Okay? Brian?
Yeah, I want to compliment the school district. They've had some great programs for parents, university parents. One of them was on drugs. And today I looked in the paper about sneaking a legalization of pot into the budget. I would hope that we come to our senses. The pot at the workshops I learned about are not the same pot in the 60s, or the 70s, or the 80s, or on up. It's extremely powerful, extremely powerful. 70 to 80% more powerful than ever before. Also, kids have things called Cat. It looks like Kit Kats, but it's not. They're buying cookies. There are lollipops that you can buy that are full of marijuana. The issue is that parents are assuming that once their kid goes into school and they hear about this, it's over. Well, the research shows that unless parents start talking with their kids, it's your responsibility. You brought the kids into the world. It's your responsibility to talk to kids about drugs and the harm drug has and consequences. And if you go to a party and you're blown out, oh, just call us, we'll forget it. That's not the way it is anymore. Drugs are much, much more stronger than ever before. So I thank the school district, but I'm urging parents to step up and start talking to their adolescents about drugs and some of the problems that we're now having with drugs. They had a research from Colorado, and everybody said, oh, I can't wait. We'll legalize pot, we'll have so much money we won't know what to do. Colorado's not making the money they thought they were going to do. And that's an issue too. So there's lots of things going on, and I'm urging parents to start talking to your kids. It's not right for the school district to take on the full responsibility. What?
Attend the meetings.
Yeah, attend the meetings. Last time I think, what was it, maybe 5, 6 parents showed up? I mean, you know, these people showing up, they're paying. Center tomorrow, Wednesday, we're gonna be meeting with the coalition from Orange County for drug and alcohol. And our hope is that we can start bringing services to our students here, that they don't have to travel away from the village. At the high school, or perhaps even at the senior center in the afternoons. We can have people come down, counselors, things of that nature. Thank you.
Very good. Herb?
I don't have much, I look forward to Saturday for the parade. I'm not gonna shave because I'm actually in the Civil War unit at 124, so I have to have that look. But I look forward to it. It's supposed to be a nice day too. It's looking like it's gonna be a nice day.
The sun always shines on the Irish. Always.
Yeah,
Always.
good one this year.
that's something. Turned out to be a great event.
Should we all not shave? Should we all not shave?
Don't shave. Don't shave.
Brian, can you go over here, Brian?
I can grow a beard, but then I look like,
Just checking.
no, Marty, not Santa.
Yeah, a couple of quick things. Just want to thank everybody that's been filling out the postcards. This is how many we got done this weekend. I was at the indoor farmers market and down at the marketplace. Anybody that doesn't know about it, what we're trying to do is get Route 218, which is a state road, fixed. We've been asking verbally for years. So we're hoping that this postcard campaign may spark the fire up in Albany and get something done down here. The state is spending a lot of money on fixing roads, and unfortunately our 3.9 miles was not part of it. And it's not only 218 that runs through the village. You know, I'm also looking to do the Old State Road, which goes from Cragston down to where Bosch's Garage is, and then the bypass also. So again, if anybody doesn't know where the cards are, we have some in Village Hall. There's also some at Town Hall, and there's some at the center. And I'll be out at a couple of different places, again, locations, possibly knocking on doors to get people to please sign the cards. Trying to get them up there at the end of March, so if we can get them done, it'd be greatly appreciated. Also, when I was at the indoor market, wonderful place. I haven't been there, and this was my first weekend, and I was impressed by a lot of the stuff that they had there. They had eggs that you can buy, fresh eggs, honey, baked goods, hot foods. They had some green energy programs there, some other knickknacks, if you will, homemade goods. A great little place to go. So if I could ask, when is the next one again?
It's only every other weekend right now.
Okay, so not this weekend, but the following weekend, there'll be another one there.
It's
Stop
always
by
in the paper, it's always in the paper.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh, innocence.
Of innocence. And Jamaican food, Jim.
Yes, it was quite
What's
good.
that? Jamaican food?
Yes,
Jerk
absolutely.
chicken?
Jerk chicken,
Perfect.
they have the mac and cheese.
Pork.
It's the same one that's down at the regular farmer's market during the summer. But anyway, thanks for doing that, Ola. It was really great over there. I also spoke with Miss Anderson about a green initiative program, and we're going to be working on that with NYSERDA. We're going to see what we can do with it. A lot of hurdles that we discussed, so hopefully it can go somewhere. But we're working on that. Also, just wanted to mention that there's a March Mania, and this is the 8th annual co-ed basketball tournament. It's March 13th and 14th. And here's the flyer. And it's over at the intermediate school, and it's going to be starting at 10 a.m. Again, a great place to get the kids out, do something in the winter months. Mr. Mayor, I got some information on some street sweepers. I know we've been discussing, we've asked for grants on street sweepers, and I'm going to give some of this information to the board. You know, green infrastructure is really important, and saving the waters is also important. And with these new sweeper technology, when we do get a sweeper, maybe we should look at something like this, guys. So that's something I'll make sure we get to everybody. And as of March 1st, everybody knows about the plastic bag ban. So I would just remind everybody to bring your reusable bags. That's what I got, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Okay,
I just have one short thing to say that I forgot to say. Do we have, is the chief here?
He is not, he
He's not
had a
here.
little procedure today.
I wonder if we have any kids at play or for certain areas on the streets.
There's streets that have children that play signs.
I wonder if we could get more and put them in certain areas and put them like, what my point is a lot of these stops that have like school bus stops and this and that, where a lot of kids are gathering, where there are a stop sign or something like that, I thought it would be nice to have a sign though, something like that.
Something can.
And I
Highway
just,
department has them.
I just want to, and the reason I brought this up, I just want to point this out. I usually get to my house about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and at that time, there's a group of kids that walks up the hill past my house from the middle school, and I call it the middle school, we know what school I'm talking about. But what the joke is all the time when I see these kids, they walk past and they say, "Hi, Mr. Livesey," and I say, "Hi, kids," and I say, "How was school today?" And they go, "Well, it was hard," and I say, "Good." And then a couple days later, the kids will walk past me, and then they'll say, "Hi, Mr. Livesey," and I'll say, "How was school today?" And they say, "It was hard," and I say, "Good." Well, the other day, I come home, and I had a hard day at work. I really did, and I was tired. And I got out of my truck, and the kids were there, and they go, "Hi, Mr. Livesey, how was work today?" And I said, "You know what, kids, I had a tough day," and they all said, "Good," and they all walked past me. Just had to share
Smart
that.
kid. Smart kid. Take a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn, Brian Howard, Jim Ramus, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so much.